Honda at the Model Clearout event. It's the best time to team up with a Honda you'll love.
Beautiful Miami, Florida. We are at Marlins Park for game 2 of this 3-game set against the Miami Marlins. That's 33-year-old Wei-Yin Chen. He is from Taiwan. He is signed here with the Marlins as a free agent. He signed a 5-year contract, taking him from 16 to 2020. Let's take a look at the lineup Chen will face tonight. Gurriel is at the top of the order. Travis is batting second, and Justin Smoke, he's on a red-hot streak. He's got a mini 3-game hit streak, but 3 of those 4 hits have been home runs. 3 homers and 7 RBIs during that hit streak. And Brandon Grichuk really finishing up this season in a good fashion. His last 7 games, he's 12 for 22 with 3 doubles, 2 home runs, and he's driven in 3. Grichuk back in right field tonight. Martin at third, Danny Jansen behind the plate. And they'll take on Wei-Yin Chen.
Wei-Yin Chen comes into this game a hot pitcher. In 4 outings this month, Chen has a 154 earned run average. The lowest monthly ERA of his career, including shutout baseball in his last start. That was versus the Braves. He struck out 10 in 6 innings. Chen is making his first start versus the Blue Jays since 2014. Overall, he's 1-3 with an ERA about 5.5 in 4 starts. But he comes into this one, again, a very hot pitcher. He's been filling up the strike zone with good pitches.
Take a look at the defense behind Chen, and it's been a pretty good season defensively. But they've got a youngster back. They had high hopes for the center fielder, Louis Brinson, but he had to spend some time in the minors.
Yeah, born right up the road in Fort Lauderdale. His former first-round draft pick from the Texas Rangers, then went to Milwaukee, and then came here in the Christian Yelich deal. They have high hopes. He's got a nice blend of power and speed. He's just 24 years old.
Chen is set. Gurriel in the box. Here's the first pitch of the game. It is down and away for a ball, and we are underway. Gurriel batting leadoff tonight against the lefty Chen. His average has dipped under 300.
Yeah, he was hotter than anybody, I think, in all of baseball when he got hurt in Chicago a few weeks ago. Then he had to spend some time on the disabled list, and that could really mess up your timing, especially a young player like that. Hard to take batting practice and replicate game situations. But I'll tell you what, John Gibbons is doing the right thing. He's playing him pretty much every day, and he'll start to get hot again. Mark my words, he'll start to hit that ball all over the field like he was doing before.
He had that terrific 11-game multi-hit streak going, and then he injured himself in Chicago with a very awkward slide, sliding into second with his 3rd hit of that ball game. Call strike 3 right on the inside corner. Gurriel is called out on strikes, 1 out.
That's the pitch that's been very good for Chen lately, just pumping that fastball in there. It looked like he was looking for something off speed. Chen crossed him up, cut that fastball right on the inside part of the plate and up. He'll use that fastball a little bit more than half the time.
Devin Travis batting in the 2 spot tonight. Travis had a bases loaded walk in that 9th inning rally. He was credited with an RBI. Pulls this one outside of 3rd foul.
That was the big talk today about that at bat in the 9th inning. His at bat that really set the stage for Smoke to do what he did to finish off the scoring for the Blue Jays. Took a couple of really nasty pitches just off the plate to work that walk.
That forced a run in, and then Justin Smoke came on as a pinch hitter and hit the ball out of the ballpark. Little chopper toward 3rd. That is going to go foul as Anderson waited for it to get into foul ground. Well, Travis will go back and have another hack at it. 1-2 on Devin Travis.
But the Blue Jays hit the ball well early in that game against Straley. Dan Straley was very good, but they just couldn't catch a break. They were hitting the ball 9 miles, but it was staying in this ballpark. Straightened things out just a little bit in that 9th inning. Morales had an 0-2 hit that got it all started for the Blue Jays. That was a good at bat. And then Danny Jansen had an infield hit. A couple of walks and then the grand slam, and that was that.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Outside. Gurriel struck out, called out on a inside fastball. Let's see if they go in the same spot to Devin Travis. Tried to get it inside and missed.
Yeah, he knew it too. You can see the body language from Wei-Yin Chen after that pitch got away from him. That's where Devin likes that ball, up and away like that. He hit the ball and fouled it off. Chen wanted to go up and in. He missed his spot.
Chen spent 4 years in Baltimore, so the Blue Jays are familiar with him. There's a little flare. That's going to drop for a base hit in right in front of Sierra. Devin Travis has a hit in his first at bat. And that'll bring up Justin Smoke, who was the hero in last night's game.
Well, he came off the bench hitting left-handed, and this was his little more powerful spot. It's an 0-2 pitch. Talking to him after the game, he said, I thought for sure they were going to come right back with that slider. They started him off with a slider for strike one, a high strike with a fastball for strike two. They tried to waste the pitch, and he wasted it over the fence.
Did he ever? He's now homered in 3 straight games. He's 4 for his last 9 over the 3-game hit streak. First pitch strike from Chen. Tim Timmons, the veteran, is behind the plate calling balls and strikes tonight. And the numbers for Smoke against Chen: 4 for 9. Tried to check his swing and went around.
Yeah, look at him shake his wrist. That's a curveball, slow curveball. He recognized it, couldn't hold up his swing, and when he tried to, looked like he might have bent that wrist back.
To mention, Chen is 33 years old. He was born in Taiwan. He signed originally with the Baltimore Orioles in January of 2012. Amateur free agent. Played 4 seasons with the Orioles. Went 46 and 32 and 117 starts in Baltimore. Ball in the dirt.
He's not going to blow the ball by you. He's got to mix up his speeds and hit his spots to be effective. Pitch Gurriel really tough to get the first out, then just couldn't finish off Devin Travis. He needs a big September to avoid his first losing record of his 7-year big league career. He's always had 500 or better record every year except this year.
Two-2 pitch to Smoke. Cut on and missed. Second strikeout of the inning.
2 outs, 2 of them from strikeouts. Let's take a look at the scouting report for Wei-Yin Chen. Fastball, slider, those are his 2 main pitches. Then he'll mix in that changeup at 13% and a slow curveball every now and then. That's what it looked like he got Justin Smoke with right there, that slow curveball. He's been hit hard at times by his fastball. He's given up 17 home runs this year, 13 of them off the fastball.
Here's Randall Grichuk. Grichuk takes the first pitch strike. Randall, in his last 7 games, has 12 hits. He's 12 for 22 during those 7 games. 3 doubles, 2 home runs.
Been swinging a hot bat, using the whole field. Really hasn't had just like one spot where he's been hitting the ball. And that's why I'm interested where the third baseman's been playing him. That's Brian Anderson, the young player, really on the line. That's more of a defense that you would see like in the 7th inning of a 1-run game. Can't recall Randall hitting that many balls right down the third base line.
Popped up into shallow left field. The center fielder, Brinson, comes over and makes the catch. The inning is over. Blue Jays get a single. They strand a base runner. Marco Estrada will take the hill when we come back to Miami. last night. He's moved up the leadoff spot tonight. He will start things off for Don Matting. The Marlins. Let's take a look at the rest of the lineup. It's Riddle, Brinson, and then JT Realmuto. The catcher has a 4-game hit streak. He's 6 for 16 during that streak. He's got a double, a home run, and 6 RBIs. And then Miguel Rojas is playing second base tonight. He's put up good numbers in interleague play, hitting .314 against the American League. He's got a home run.
They will face Marco Estrada, start number 24 for Marco. He's coming off a rough outing against Philadelphia, where he lasted just 2 innings. He gave up 7 hits and 5 earned runs. They also took him deep 3 times. He's been struggling with some injuries and some problems with his back. He just wasn't able to hit his spots his last time out. So much better effort tonight, hopefully, for the Blue Jays. He has faced the Marlins in the past, the last time 3 years ago, where he pitched 7 innings, gave up just 3 earned runs. And I like these type of matchups here, Marco against teams that haven't seen him that often, because he's got that great changeup.
It's popped out of play. It's a ball on the strike to the leadoff man. You'll notice the players are wearing a gold ribbon and gold armbands. That is the Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, the initiative by Major League Baseball. The umpires, both teams, are wearing it to raise awareness to childhood cancer all around baseball.
The players came out today in batting practice wearing t-shirts, blue t-shirts that said "Strikeout Cancer." You and I got into the act today for the opening. We had our ribbons on and everything like that.
Fastball, he really jammed him, and Riddle fights it off to stay alive. JT Riddle was 1 for 4 in the game last night.
Pesky little hitter. Doesn't try and do too much. Doesn't look like he's got a lot of power, but he has 8 home runs this year.
Back a little cutter there from Estrada. Riddle's in his 2nd season with the Marlins. He was a draft pick out of University of Kentucky. The Marlins actually out-hit the Blue Jays 12-8 last night, but the Blue Jays had that big 5-run 9th inning to erase a big deficit. Popped up again, out of play.
That's going to be the big pitch, as it always is with Marco Estrada, but I think more so tonight because Marlins, they just haven't faced him. A lot of these players, these young players for the Marlins, facing Marco Estrada for the first time. He's a different type of pitcher, I think, than anybody they've ever faced.
There's a base hit, could be extra bases. Grichuk gonna have to hurry to cut it off. He's got a strong arm. Here's the throw to second. It is not in time. JT Riddle picks up his 8th double of the season. A leadoff double here in the bottom of the 1st.
And it was off of his bread and butter pitch, the changeup. Did not put that one in a good spot, left it up. If it's down, he's got to reach for it. You can see where the glove is of Danny Jansen, but it's up, and he hits it into the right field corner, and he's going to make this on his own with his speed. He's got to gamble, okay, can Randall Grichuk spin and fire and throw me out all in one motion? He made it close, did Grichuk, but it's a leadoff double.
This is Lewis Brinson. He takes the first pitch upstairs for a ball. This season, in 84 games, he has hit under 200. You can see he's had some struggles in his first season here in Miami.
But a lot of talent, a lot of physical tools. Former first-round draft pick of Texas, who went to Milwaukee in that Jonathan Lucroy trade a few seasons ago. Milwaukee thought enough of him to trade for him.
Then Milwaukee traded him here because they gave up a good player. The Marlins did in Christian Yelich. 1-2 now.
Strikeouts have been a problem for him. You can see he's got that big swing, and when he connects, yeah, he can hit it out of the ballpark.
See his numbers in AA and AAA, still hitting under 200. There's a lot of loop in his swing, and they're trying to iron out that.
Buying too much into that launch angle.
Yeah, that's going to be an issue for some of these younger hitters. I hear so much about launch angle, and this coaching staff and the manager of the Marlins, they are all into line drive base hits, especially in this ballpark.
Have to. Unless you're built like an Aaron Judge or a Giancarlo Stanton, some of those, legitimate who can hit it out of any ballpark type of hitters, it's best to get your line drive stroke out here.
Downstairs. It's a full count on Brinson. Riddle at second with the leadoff double. JT Realmuto is on deck. The catcher's hitting .285, and Miami trying to get off to a quick start here tonight. Brinson has 94 strikeouts in 84 games coming into this game tonight. Too many empty at bats.
Yep, and he's got 10 home runs in those 84 games. So when he can connect, he can knock it out, but that's been few and far between.
Estrada is set. Checks on the runner at second. Ground ball, fair ball. Long throw from Martin, and not in time, and on the play. Riddle moves up. Boy, he timed that perfectly. The runner from second saw that Martin was going to have to make a long throw, and when he cut it loose, Riddle took off for third.
Yeah, you're gambling about 2 long throws. One from the third baseman all the way across the diamond. And if they get that runner at first base, then a long throw all the way back across. Russell does a good job of getting to this one. He doesn't have time to take a look at that runner, so Riddle could see that. Had a couple of crow hops off of second base, and as soon as Russell was right there, he took off. There's really no chance now with another long throw to go back across the diamond to get that runner.
Yeah, you can see Brinson can run. So now runners at the corners, nobody out. Brinson has just 1 steal in 2 attempts this season. And Estrada with a quick throw. Brinson doesn't have many steals. His on-base percentage with the Marlins this year, .232. So he wasn't on base often enough to steal many bases.
Looks like he is a raw player, but he's got some tools and some talent. Pretty big lead over there at first base.
Realmuto fouls it straight back. The Marlins catcher, hitting in the third spot, had an RBI single, a 2-strike single in the 5th inning, right up the middle. A very good approach. For the night, he was just 1 for 5.
He's hitting .285. That's pretty good with some production as a catcher. That's what you're looking for. He has the most doubles, 25 as a catcher in the National League. And you know how you and I love doubles.
He's an extra base machine. He's got 47 extra base hits, 67 RBIs. As you said, that's great production for a catcher. And he's an all-star. Changeup right off the end of the bat. You can see smelling that wood as it creates a lot of friction when you cue that thing right off the end of the bat. That's what that great conversation we saw at the All-Star game with Ted Williams when he was talking to Mark McGuire and Barry Bonds. You ever smell that burning wood when you foul one straight back?
Absolutely.
That hit him. It hit him on the hand or on the knob. The umpire said it hit him on the knob of the bat.
Yeah, he called foul ball right away, and Realmuto is not arguing it. This is where the Miami Marlins did most of their damage in last night's game with 2 strikes. They must have had 5 or 6 2-strike base hits. Fastball up and in.
That looked like it hit him. The umpire is correcting the scoreboard. The scoreboard had a 1-2, and he continues to hold up his left fist indicating 0-2. It's 0-2. And now he's showing the Marlins bench the count. Fouled it back.
I think Realmuto wants to hit.
Yeah. He didn't want to say he got hit by a pitch. There's an RBI just 90 feet away.
Yeah, anything into the air deep enough, and he's going to get an RBI. He doesn't care how many strikes there are.
He got a piece of it. That's the kind of approach we saw from the Marlins last night.
Great two-strike approaches, cutting down their swing and really cutting down the field. He had a great at-bat where he singled to center field. Marco tries to expand the strike zone just a little bit more with that cutter. Looked like the ball right off the plate, but he can just keep the at-bat alive by getting a piece of it.
Ball under. Jansen kept it in front of him. It's 1-2 now. Another long at bat. Still nobody out, and Estrada has thrown 18 pitches already.
He needs a ground ball.
He doesn't get many of those.
No, that's the problem when you're an extreme fly ball type of pitcher and you need a ground ball.
The next best thing for Estrada is a pop-up on the infield.
He can do that. He can do that with the best of them.
Just outside. 3-2. Now, here's a situation with speed at first. You would think they would start the runner. Brian Anderson, the fine rookie, is in the cleanup spot. He's on deck. He'll bat next. Brinson with the lead at first. Riddle's at third. He's not running, and the ball's in the dirt. So that will load the bases. Estrada has pitched himself in a jam here in the first inning. Brian Anderson is one of the real bright stars of this National League. He's a rookie, and you take a look at what he's done with runners in scoring position. It's impressive.
Yeah, he leads all rookies in games and at-bats, runs, on-base percentage, all that. But the one that's most important, and I think the neatest, is hitting with runners in scoring position. It's obviously the most important, I think, for a team, and he leads all rookies. Look at that average of .383 with runners in scoring position. That's rookies in all of baseball. Of course, you got those two Yankee guys at the end there. They've been tearing it up since they've been coming up, but he's got a good approach at the plate. He's got a quick back. He can wait a long time to recognize pitches and then still get good wood on the ball.
He had a couple of doubles last night in 3 official at-bats. He also walked twice. The 2 doubles gives him 30 for the season. That ranks 5th by a rookie in franchise history. Chris Coughlin, who spent some time with the Blue Jays, is 4th with 31 doubles. He did that in 2009. Boy, Estrada is really off his game. He bounced that ball about 3 feet in front of home plate.
This is looking like his last start against Philadelphia, where he just couldn't master any of his pitches. I mean, he battled his way through 2 innings, but there were a lot of base runners. He had a few walks. He had 4 walks in those 2 innings also, along with 7 base hits.
It took 71 pitches to complete 2 innings. There's a drive deep to right field. Grichuk is back at the track, at the wall. He jumps and makes the catch. Riddle tags at third. He'll come in to score. And Brian Anderson just missed hitting a grand slam home run.
Or even off the wall, but not for a great play by Randall Grichuk. I have been so impressed with his defensive effort out in right field all year long. Again, this is a big, big ballpark, but he knew where to go exactly. One more look at the wall, right up against it, hauls it in, and the Marlin base runners, especially the runner at second base, wasn't paying attention. He was halfway to third, so he can't tag up. He's still out at second base. Marco Estrada enjoys that play.
Yeah, the runner at second has to tag and get to third base at a minimum. So Brinson, he should have tagged and gone to third. I mean, if the ball hits off the wall, he's going to score from second if he's standing right on top of it.
He could walk home from second base, but he was way down towards third base, and by the time the ball was caught, he had to go back and tag up. The runner at first base had rounded second base.
Martin Prado just activated today off the disabled list. The veteran has been dealing with a number of leg issues. He was reinstated today. He began the season on the DL because of off-season knee surgery. Didn't make his debut until the 27th of April.
He's had a hamstring, he's had a quad problem, a lot of leg problems, and that's what's opened the door, though, for Brian Anderson to get the playing time that he has gotten.
And Anderson has made the most of those opportunities.
Yes, he has.
Prado was hot before his most recent stint on the DL. He was 6 for his previous 14, a .429 average. One nothing Marlins. Inside. Prado is one of the few Marlins that has faced Estrada in the past. He's 6 for 19.
He's not the player he was, let's say, 3 or 4 years ago. That one time, Martin Prado was a really good player, where he had the health of his legs, could play multiple positions.
It's this ball in the air down the right field line. Grichuk into foul territory. And he makes the catch. This time Brinson tags. But had he tagged on the previous fly ball to right, he would have scored.
It'd be 2-0. Randall Grichuk goes back on the ball as well as anybody. Now he's going to get into that corner. The padding isn't very thick down there in the right field line, and he hits that wall pretty hard, but holds on to the ball. For the second out.
Now there are 2 outs, and if Estrada can get out of this situation, giving up just a single run, I think he'd be pleased. Marco has now thrown 29 pitches in his first inning. Remember, the bases were loaded with nobody out. This is Austin Dean. Dean takes a first pitch strike. Dean wasn't called up until the 15th of August. So he's just getting his feet on the ground here. Estrada just missed with that second fastball. It's a ball and a strike. JT Riddle with the leadoff double has come in to score the first run of this game. There's a fly ball in the center. Pilar broke back. Now he adjusts and comes in to make the catch. And a good job by Marco Estrada. It took him 32 pitches, but he minimizes the damage. The Marlins lead it 1-0.
September and the first of the post-Josh Donaldson era for the Blue Jays. Donaldson, of course, traded last night to Cleveland. GM Ross Atkins revealed today there were 4 teams in real contention for his services, but Cleveland provided the best return. A player to be named later that Arshai Davidi has reported will be a power arm pitcher. As for these Blue Jays, the kind of reaction from his departure is what you would expect. It was Aaron Sanchez who said he put us on his back and took us to the promised land. Aaron said Josh loves to shine in the big moments, so he's right in his habitat. Justin Smoke raved of the competitor Donaldson is, of his preparation and battling through it when banged up to be ready. When the lights came on, Smoke said he never gave up an at-bat. John Gibbons, of course, had his battles with Donaldson, cologne and whatnot, but the manager compared him to a racehorse, a stallion. And it was Ryan Tepera who called Donaldson the ultimate gamer, that he played the game hard, was ready to go every day, even when dinged up. Tepera said JD got us deep into the playoffs. He was our leader with his voice and by how he played the game. And Tepera added, it was a fun ride. It certainly was, Buck.
Absolutely it was, from 2015 through the trade last night. He had an OPS of .931 with the Blue Jays. He was an impact player. Of course, he was the American League MVP in 2015, his first season with the Blue Jays.
And if he's healthy, and he hasn't been healthy, it seems like all season long, but if he's healthy, and he's the player he was a few years ago, he's really going to help Cleveland.
Yeah, he will. And I think it's just going to take a while before we really find out how healthy he can get. He hadn't played since May 28th.
Just a couple of rehab games down in A-ball.
Kevin Pillar hits a soft liner that Riddle catches just off the edge of the dirt. So we talk about Josh Donaldson and what a player he was while in a Blue Jays uniform. Those are the numbers we've talked about from 2015 through the trade last night. American League MVP, on base percentage of .383, and no matter where you hit him, he always had the impact on the opposing manager. Keep an eye on where Josh Donaldson was, because he could change the game.
Yeah, the three guys in the middle of that lineup for the Blue Jays, Donaldson, Bautista, and Encarnacion, were just, you know, somebody always had to worry about him. And I remember the first year in 2015, we were standing around the cage in Texas, and in the night before that game, JD had hit a ground ball to the third baseman and beat it out. I mean, hustled to keep that inning alive, and I believe the Blue Jays went on to win that game. And we were standing around the cage, and he was saying, got to teach everybody how to play this game the right way. You got to run everything out, because you never know what's going to happen.
And he certainly was the best player in the American League in 2015. Had a good season in 2016, 37 homers and 99 RBIs. But then it started to, the injuries took a toll on him in 17. He missed a lot of time that season, and Danny Jansen pulls one foul.
Who was better in August last year, September, those 2 months last year in the American League? I don't know if anybody was.
Yeah, he got red hot at the end of the year once he was healthy again.
Balls started flying off of his bat. The home runs started coming again. I think that's why everybody was really excited about this year for him, because of what he did at the end of last season.
Yeah, he was, you know, he's going to be a free agent at the end of this year, and everybody anticipated it was going to be a tremendous season for him. Danny Jansen hits a fly ball into left field, and Brinson, the center fielder, comes over, makes the catch. Quick inning for Wei-Yin Chin. 3 up, 3 down. grip on that first wild card spot. They have a 5-game lead over Oakland, and then Seattle's kind of fallen off the pace a bit at 5.5 behind for that second wild card spot. The Yankees had a little different look in their lineup today. Andrew McCutchen played right field and led off. Danny Echeverria came into the game as a defensive replacement and played shortstop. And they have made some adjustments to their team, and Tanaka picks up the win. He's 10-5.
Gary Sanchez came back off the disabled list today. Did you happen to see Aaron Boone last night fire up his team?
Yes, I did.
The players' reaction after that was interesting. He said, hey, that fired us up.
Yeah, he really was animated, arguing balls and strikes with home plate umpire, and actually got in the catcher's squat behind home plate and said, this is a strike and this is a ball. This is a strike, this is a ball, and you're terrible. That was quite animated. And of course, Aaron Boone comes from a long line of baseball players. His grandfather was a great player, Ray Boone. His brother was a great player. His dad was a great player.
His teammates, his players said, you know what, we know that our manager has our back when he goes out there like that and argues for us. And it sparked them, and they came back and won.
Yeah, and they won again today. Miguel Rojas lines out to smoke first out of the inning. Magneuris Sierra, the right fielder, playing in just his 30th game of the season. Sierra had an infield hit in last night's game and bunts it up the first baseline, and that's going to be a beautiful drag bunt base hit for Sierra.
You knew that was coming at some point. I think everybody knows that Marco's been having some problems with his back, and just to run over and try to scoop a ball up, he just picked it up and just held on to it. Tried to get it by the pitcher, but still is successful as Marco gets off the mound, and really there's no play because there's too much speed.
Isn't that a beautiful sight to see a base runner drop down a beautiful drag bunt? I mean, when Ichiro first came on the scene in 2001, he did that a lot. Really took advantage of his great speed. Now the pitcher, Wei-Yin Chin, squares early to bunt. Russell Martin's really in close at third. Chen has 2 sacrifice bunts this season. He actually has a double and has driven in 2 runs.
So he might do the old butcher boy, show the bunt and then pull the bat back.
He bunted at it and missed it. Ball and a strike. So he's looking down at the third base coach. That's Freddie Gonzalez going through the signs. Gonzalez, a former manager of this Marlins team and the Atlanta Braves. Bunted out in front of home plate, and Jansen picks it up. The only play is to first, so Chin picks up his 3rd sacrifice bunt of the season.
The 2018 Honda CR-V, where style and versatility come together.
We are in South Florida, and another beautiful day here on the east coast of Florida. JT Riddle has scored the only run of the game. He led the game off with a double and came around to score. He's trying to get ahead with a breaking ball. Looked like a little bit of a cutter, not the full-blown curveball.
That could be a good pitch for him tonight, just to change it up a little bit so he doesn't become too, you know, they know what's coming type of thing. Fastball changeup. Just show him a little something different. Don't be predictable. The outfield not that deep, which is a good thing. Riddle doesn't have a ton of power. He's more of a slashing type of hitter. So you don't have to play so deep. And anything into the outfield, they got a shot at getting that runner at the plate.
He can run. He actually had an inside the park home run out in San Diego back in May. He's also legged out 4 triples this season. Interesting player. You're seeing more and more speed being emphasized all around baseball. You want two-way players, you want athletic players, players that can run, play good defense, and give you that extra base speed. One ball, 2 strikes. Sierra's at second, had a beautiful bunt base hit. Ground ball, Travis right at the edge of the grass will gather and throw out a Riddle. Marco Estrada strands a runner in scoring position. Will go to the third. Miami has a 1-0 lead.
Log into My Blue Jays and enter the code MBJ7452 to earn My Blue Jays points while watching the broadcast. The entry box can be found on your My Blue Jays homepage, and the code must be entered by 4 a.m. One other note on the Donaldson trade. GM Ross Atkins did say today that they would have, quote, strongly considered giving Donaldson a qualifying offer if a trade hadn't materialized. That now immaterial with him headed to Cleveland. Buck?
Yeah, it sure is immaterial. It's kind of, well, yeah, we might have, but at the same time, I think they made a deal that gives them a marginal prospect. Obviously, we're not sure who it is just yet, but I'm sure it's not going to be one of their top players by any means. But there were actually supposed to be 4 teams involved in the latter stages of the negotiating as far as who was going to get Donaldson. So that's a good thing.
That always drives up the price, doesn't it?
Teoscar Hernandez hits it on the ground to Riddle at short as he is grounded out. Hernandez hitting in the 8th spot ahead of the pitcher Marco Estrada. So Estrada will come to the plate. This will be his first plate appearance since August last year. When the Blue Jays were playing the Cubs, he had 2 at-bats against Kyle Hendricks. He was called out on strikes and hit a ground ball to the shortstop. Marco, for his career, actually is a 142 hitter.
Yeah, with 7 RBIs. There are the numbers right there. Spent some time with the Washington Nationals and the Milwaukee Brewers.
He's got 4 career doubles and 7 ribbies, as you mentioned. Marco, of course, has been dealing with that back issue, and it looks like he's not really in favor of swinging.
That's okay. Got to get a runner on base to sacrifice him over. He takes 3 right there for the second out.
3rd strikeout for Chen. First time through the order. That turned the lineup over, and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. will be the batter. This is the 5th time he has hit in the leadoff spot this season. Of course, the Blue Jays are trying to get as much information on Gurriel as they can here in the later stages.
I say put him up there this last month of the season and get as many at-bats as possible.
Curveball. Anderson backs up and reaches back for a little extra. Another quick inning for Wei-Yin Chin. He's retired 8 in a row. So it's a first inning single. They're very busy in the offseason, trading away some premier players, including Giancarlo Stanton. He went to the Yankees in December. Marcell Ozuna went to the Cardinals also in December. And then after the first of the year, Christian Yelich. Boy, he has been a good player from Milwaukee.
This is an all-star type of outfield that they had last season for Don Mattingly's team. They're young, they're athletic, they're in the prime of their athletic age and their prime of making money. And I think Miami said, you know what, let's deal off the players that we have with the most value and get as many young players as possible. And Donnie Mattingly was telling you and I yesterday that from last year's All-Star game to now, they've acquired 40 players for their system to start the rebuild.
This is one of the players they received in that trade for Yelich. It's Lewis Brinson. Their salary a year ago was $111 million. As we speak right now, it's just over 86. So they have pared down the salary. Another guy that got traded, of course, is D. Gordon, who went to Seattle. And Gordon had a terrific season a year ago. He had 308 and stole 60 bases. I mean, they just gutted this team, and now it's a matter of rebuilding it from the ground up.
Yeah, they had to find somebody to take that big contract for Giancarlo Stanton. He had $300 million on that contract. The Yankees said, sure, we'll do that. But they were young players. They're young players, good players, all-star type of players. But they said, you know what, we lost with them. We may as well start over. And they had the best bargaining chip with those guys. Their highest trade value were those players, so they let them go.
There's a good fastball, and Brinson strikes out. And an infield single his first time up. Now that's the first strikeout of the ball game for Marco Estrada. He really did a good job in the first inning, allowing just one run. You could see Brinson just underneath that pitch.
There's that launch angle, that uppercut swing. That's going to get you a lot of strikeouts. Yeah, 33 pitches in that first inning, and he only gave up one run.
JT Realmuto had a very good at bat. He worked Estrada for a walk, and that would load the bases. That changeup floats in there for a strike. Realmuto's in his fourth full season. He was a third-round pick back in 2010. Made his first All-Star team this year.
Marco's starting to throw more fastballs early in the count now. to set up those off-speed pitches later on.
Another fastball right at the bottom of the zone. 2-2 now. High pitch drilled to deep center field. Pilar looking up. This ball is gone. For Real Muto, that's his 18th home run of the season. That's a new career high for the Marlins catcher. He hit that a long way.
Yeah, in this ballpark to right center field. Another fastball out over the plate. Told you they get great production from JT Realmuto. That home run now is 18th on the season, 15th as a catcher. That's the third most in the National League for catchers. Yasmani Grandal has the most, followed by Yadier Molina. And then JT Realmuto, look at that power swing, up and away, doesn't try and pull it, stays right inside that ball, hits that ball a long way to right field, and it's into the bushes.
Just the 6th home run he has hit here at home at Marlins Park this season. The other 12 coming on the road. It's a big ballpark. But he hit it to the deep part of right center, over the fence for home run number 18.
He might not get the pub that some of these other players get. But when we were standing around the batting cage yesterday, people from the Marlins were talking about him, saying, hey, he could be quite possibly the best catcher in the National League if you have a chance to watch him day in and day out.
Good change up there. Brian Anderson swings right through it. It's 2-1. Realmuto was not a catcher when he was drafted, but when he signed, he was told by the Marlins, you're now a catcher.
And he had to work really hard at it.
Popped up behind home plate. Jansen will watch it sail over the screen. Another foul. It's 2-2.
Anderson had a sacrifice fly his last time up. A great play by Grichuk, saved a couple of runs. Took some RBIs away from the third baseman.
Changeup bounced into dirt. Martin Prado. He flied out in foul ground his first time up down the right field line. That's popped out of play into the upper deck.
That's what you're looking for right now. Some of those funny swings that you usually get against Marco Estrada. Then you know that the changeup is starting to work. The fastball is keeping him off balance. Starting to see the guys out in front a little bit more.
3-2 pitch. On the ground. Gurriel has it near the bag at second. And he throws him out.
JT Realmuto with the long home run to right field, his 18th of the season. StatCast AI is powered by AWS, and the number to look at, 411 feet opposite way. For Realmuto with an exit velocity of 102. That ball a long way the other way.
5-game hit streak now. Second home run in those 5 games. You know, that's a big point of discussion as well. We've talked launch angle and exit speed and all that stuff. And they don't talk anything about spin rate off the bat. And I think that has a lot to do with why these balls carry. And Preller is going to fly out to Pilar. So we will continue that conversation in a bit. But the home run, the 25th allowed by Estrada, and the Marlins have a 2-0 lead.
Ball game ends. Devin Travis is rushing to check the score of the primetime game because his younger brother Jordan is a quarterback for Louisville and they play Alabama tonight. Now, under new NCAA rules, Jordan could play 4 full games and still redshirt. The two Travis boys are in touch every day, and Devin is more excited for this whole opportunity than Jordan seems to be. But where it gets fun is later this season. Louisville plays Florida State, which, oh, by the way, happens to be Devin's alma mater. So Devin will be in the stadium that day wearing black. Neutral. Devin said, one's got my heart, one is my pride and joy. Then he laughed and said, I gotta go with the little brother for sure.
Absolutely. What a great story. And it's quite a weekend for the Travis family. Devin's mom and dad were here last night. Today is Devin's mother's birthday, and they have gone up to Orlando to watch the football game. They will drive back after the game and then watch the final game of this series, since the Travis family's had a big weekend.
What did he say? He can play in 4 games and still be a redshirt?
Right.
You might want to take tonight's game off. They're playing Alabama.
Yeah. But what a great way to start your college career.
Oh,
Stand on
wow.
the field and watch your team play Alabama.
Wow. And Florida State on that. That's a league game for Louisville.
Devin with a 1-2 count. He had the only base hit. He's the only base runner that Wei Chin has allowed to this point. This is a little bit like last night's game. Dan Straley really shut down the Blue Jays offense. He allowed a run on 4 hits over 8 innings. There's another hit. This is going to be extra bases. Travis is headed to first. He's rounding first, and the ball is off the wall. Austin Dean will play it back in, and Devin Travis is 2 for 2.
You know, that's why I think it's so important for the Blue Jays to stay close here and get into that bullpen later on. That's been the weak spot for the Miami Marlins this year. This will help. Little cutter up and in, and Devin speeds up the bat oh so quickly to get to that ball on the inside part of the plate and pull it down the left field line. I think that's why he's going to be a good hitter. His single went to right field. Now his double went down the left field line.
Leadoff double. You have to take advantage of this. Dustin Smoke struck out his first time up. One of 3 strikeouts for Chen so far in this game. Of course, you don't want Smoke feathering the ball to the right side. You want him to drive the runner in, especially early in this at bat. Pulls that one on the ground.
A lot of slow stuff. They threw him in the first inning and struck him out, and now he let him off with a slow curveball. Smokey will pick up on that and realize what they're trying to do to him. Looks like they're trying to speed him up.
Smoke hitting .250 for the season, and his splits are almost identical. .255 against lefties, .248 against righties.
See what happens when you throw a lot of soft stuff like that. When I talk about speeding him up, you try to get him to like jump out there, and then that fastball, you can throw it right by him. I thought they might save that fastball for 2 strikes to try and end the at-bat, but he jumped ahead 0-2.
Travis with the leadoff double. Evans got a modest lead at second. The one thing you have to make note of as a base runner is the depth of the outfield, because it's such a big outfield. Those little loopers in front of the outfield, you got a chance to score here because they're so deep.
It's like playing in Coors Field, isn't it? That's a big ballpark, and it really carries, so those little bloopers, they fall in.
Smoke drives this one to right. Travis is going back to tag up. Sierra makes the catch. Here's the throw, and it'll be late at third. So Smoke advances the runner from second to third.
Take on any project with Home Hardware, proud partner of the Toronto Blue Jays. Here's how.
Second day of a 3-game series here in Miami. We are at Minute Maid Park. You can see it in the background there. It opened up in 2012. So here's where Justin Smoke saying, okay, Randall, I gave you an easy RBI. Drive this guy in. 2-0 Marlins. We're in the 4th. Infield is back. Ground ball up the middle past the pitcher will score a run.
Yeah, anything but a pop-up or a strikeout. And Randall's been all over left-handed pitching in the month of August. Hit over 360 against left-handed pitching that month. He was really on the fastball. I think that was the difference in him that month. I think at some point you're going to get some kind of fastball from Wei Chen. Just be ready for it.
Upstairs. Overall, Grichuk hit 316 in the month of August. Billy McKinney, Danny Jansen also had 300 batting averages in the month of August. Rando got a good pitch to drive and fouled it back.
There's the fastball right there. He's been really handling the outside pitch too in the month of August. Hit over 320 on pitches away from him, so he was getting it ready. He just missed his pitch right there. That was his chance to drive in the run.
Here you really got to shorten up, put the bat on the ball, and like I say, a ground ball to the shortstop of the second baseman, maybe even the first baseman, is going to lead to a run.
It's got to be a high fastball.
A nasty cutter down and in. 2-2 now. Rando with 47 RBIs. He has 19 home runs on the season. He hit 5 home runs in the month of August. Off-speed pitch pulled past Louis Rivera.
I was talking to Don Mattingly before the ball game today, and we were talking about hitting, and he was saying, you know, every player gets at least one fastball to hit in an at-bat. So why wouldn't you go up there, be ready to hit that fastball? You might not get it where you want to, but you're going to get a strike, and it's probably going to be a fastball, so you have to be ready to hit it. And Randall's had a couple here in this at bat.
Yeah, you can see those pitches in the strike zone. They have been hittable pitches that he's fouled back. You know, and Mattingly told us the other day that he really learned how to hit for power once he got the big leagues. Talking with Lou Piniella, who was an established star with the Yankees. Lou taught him how to handle that inside pitch and how to hit it with authority.
Yeah, and use your bottom hand. Get that bottom hand to that baseball.
There's a drive to left field. Travis going back. He tags and slips, but the throw is offline. He's going to go ahead and score. Good job by Randall Grichuk, a very determined at bat. And the Blue Jays are on the board.
He got another fastball, and he's able to fight it off and get it deep into the outfield. It looked like the Blue Jays weren't going to score a run because Devin Travis slipped when he went to go back to tag up and start. Watch him. He recognizes it. Luis Rivera tells him to tag up, and watch how he slips. He's got his foot on top of the bag, but the throw is way off, not even close to home plate.
Yeah, you've got to put your foot on the edge of the bag and use it as a starting block, if you will, and push off of that. There's a nice play at third by Anderson. High throw, tag, and the umpire went safe and then called him out and said, my bad. I saw it one way but reacted the other way. His first sign was safe, and then he pointed to indicate contact when the first baseman tagged Pilar. So Pilar waiting for the Blue Jays to look at their video review.
Everybody looking to see if they're going to take a look at it.
Prado making his first start of the season at first base, swiped at Pilar, and the Blue Jays aren't going to challenge the call. Pilar is out, but the Blue Jays are on the board. Sac fly for Rando Grichuk. Marlins lead it 2-1.
Absence, IndyCar returns to the Rose City in the penultimate race of the season. The Grand Prix of Portland tomorrow on Sportsnet 1 and Sportsnet 360. Qualifying, James Hinchcliffe, number 7 of the game. Buck.
Thank you very much, Arash. Pete Walker has got some new arms down in his bullpen as they have made some adjustments. Jose Fernandez has been called up from the minor leagues. Thomas Pannone is also in the bullpen for the time being, and Taylor Guerreri has been called up from AAA as well, a right-handed reliever. High fly ball. Left fielder Teoscar Hernandez waits on it, makes the catch. One out. Let's check in with Carolyn Cameron. She's got an update. It's going to be very interesting to see how the Cleveland Indians handle Josh Donaldson. He had to be activated once the trade was consummated, and he is on the active roster now. But there is some speculation that Cleveland might put him on a disabled list and send him out to rehab a little bit more. He only played in 2 games most recently.
And the minor league season is coming to an end, so that can't be that long of a rehab if that did happen.
Well, he could go play in a playoff game if they have somebody in the minors.
Yeah, that
playing
makes
in the playoffs.
sense.
Or he can go to Arizona and just play in some camp games as the instructional league will begin shortly. So they'll find a place for him to play if that's what they deem necessary.
They said they're going to make a quick decision about that too, like today. Let everybody know after the ball game today what their plans are.
Yeah, they were going to talk with Josh, obviously, and get an assessment of how he feels. That's going to be a base hit for Miguel Rojas.
You know who else they're talking to is Jose Ramirez and Jason Kipnis about when Josh comes up to play. He's going to play third base, and Ramirez is going to play second. So somebody's going to be either in the outfield or on the bench.
Well, and that's what happened last year as Kipnis went to the outfield because they were dinged up in the outfield. And so Ramirez played second. Kipnis went to center. A one-out single for Rojas. This is Magneuris Sierra, who had a bunt base hit his last time up. Boy, he was late on that fastball, looking for something off speed.
Yeah, Marco's been throwing more fastballs to upset that timing. Right over at first base, Rojas, not really a stolen base threat, although he's had 6 stolen bases this year, but you can't forget about him. He was trying to time up Marco on that last pitch.
Not running here. Up and in for a ball. 1-2. Pitcher spot is next. Remember, we have interleague play in a National League park. The pitcher hits. And there is Wei-Yin Chen. Had a sacrifice bunt his first time up. Inside. 2-2 now. Estrada threw 33 pitches in the first inning and really did a heck of a job of getting around a bases loaded, nobody out situation. He allowed the Marlins just a single run. There's a good changeup.
Got a little help when the runner at second base didn't tag up. It cost him a run.
Prado's fly ball down the right field line in foul territory should have been good for a sacrifice fly had Brinson tagged and moved over on Anderson's sacrifice fly. 2-2. Lined, and that'll end the inning. Right into the glove of Justin Smoke. There's nothing you can do about that as a base runner. So we'll go to the 5th. It's a 2-1 ball game. Now, time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Carolyn Cameron and Joe Siddle in the Samsung broadcast studio. System has really blossomed the last couple of years, and they continue to rack up the awards. This season's Florida State League Pitcher of the Year is Patrick Murphy, who pitched at Dunedin. Had a heck of a season with a 10-5 record and a .265 earned run average. And Pat, you got to love his age and his size.
Yeah, he's 23, still pitching in high A ball, which is okay, but I like the 6'4", 220 pounds the pitcher of the year in the Florida State League. That's always been a pitcher's league with those big ballparks like that. Good ERA. He won 10 games. He's been in the minor leagues now for a few seasons with the Blue Jays. Started in 2014. He's finally made his way up to A-ball. He pitched a little bit in Double-A this year. Had a start there through 6 innings in New Hampshire this season. So looks like another one's on the way.
And New Hampshire had 6 All-Stars this season. That's a real gold star for the minor league system. Last night, Bluefield won their first playoff game. They're in the semifinals, and 17-year-old Eric Pardinho started but got roughed up. He had a very tough first inning, but the offense came back and carried the night as they won the opener in that semifinal.
17. This is his second year in pro ball.
Getting a start in a playoff game. Here's Russ Martin, the catcher. Excuse me, Russ Martin, the third baseman. Sorry, Russ. Martin popped out to the first baseman, his only time up. Wei-Yin Chen has allowed just 2 base runners. The same guy. Devin Travis is 2 for 2. He has scored the only Blue Jay run.
Russell had him right where he wanted him, 0-2. He's fought back now to 2-2. He does as good a job as anybody on this team when he falls behind to still work that count, see a lot of pitches, and get back into the count.
Three and 2. From 0-2 to 3-2. Russell's got a great eye at the plate. Danny Jansen, he flat out to center field against Chen his first time up. He's on deck. We're in the 5th inning. It's a 2-1 ball game. Blue Jays have just 2 hits, both off the bat of Devin Travis. Full count pitch. High fly ball to right. This is a big yard, man. Just another fly ball out, 1 down. Let's check in again with Carolyn. Yeah, he'd been on the DL since that collision he had at Fenway Park with Lourdes Gurriel Jr. and made a couple of rehab starts.
July 14th is when that happened.
He's faced 10 batters tonight and has, he's faced 13 batters and has 10 strikeouts.
That just ties him for the most strikeouts in 4 innings with his teammate Chris Sale, who did it earlier this year. 10 strikeouts through 4 innings. Is it that easy? Come off the DL and deal like that?
He was having a terrific season when he was forced on the disabled list. And they need him to step up with all the questions surrounding Chris Sale. Danny Jansen lifts one foul down the right field line. That'll land in the glove of that fan. Made a nice play. A fan of Hurricane football. The football season has started.
Yes, it has. He is not going to get it. That's the right fielder, Sierra. So the fan says, I'll take this one. Got himself a souvenir.
Jansen, a 1-2 pitch. Lays off the high pitch. Just one more note on Eduardo Rodriguez of the Red Sox. Boston has won 16 of the 19 starts Rodriguez has made this year. So they need him healthy. Foul ball. Third base umpire called it quickly. That's Jensen Visconti who made the call down at third. And he called it right as it crossed that bag. Jensen Visconti had the home plate job last night. Jansen looks like he thought it might have gone over the bag.
Danny Jansen might be happy that it was called foul because look at Anderson get over there and make that play. That was going to be an out over at first base, but he gets an extra swing now.
And chases a pitch off the plate outside.
The 2018 Civic Type R, like no Honda you've ever seen.
Mullins Park, there are a lot of amenities around the ballpark for the fans. Unfortunately, there aren't many fans that show up. Last night, 8,871. They're averaging just over 10,000 for the season. And unfortunately, that has been the case with this franchise, even in their World Series championship years. In 2003, they won the World Series, and they were still 15th in attendance in the National League. And then in '97, they had a spike. They got up to 5th in the National League in attendance. That's Hernandez, a little roller, and what a nice play at first by Prado. I wasn't sure where that throw was coming from, but he hung in there to make the play. That ends the inning. Another 3 up, 3 down inning for Wei-Yin Chen.
Game that Curtis Granderson was told he was traded to Milwaukee. This morning, he tweeted this farewell message out. And Granderson, of course, is in search of that elusive World Series ring, a runner-up 3 times in the Fall Classic. And on his way out, Granderson paid homage to the city, the organization, the staff, and the Jays Care Foundation returned the favor, appreciating so much of what Curtis did away from the field, too. Granderson never stopped moving in that Jays dugout, always in someone's ear, always sharing information, pointing things out if he saw something. Guys, the truest of true professionals.
Absolutely, and obviously Pat and I have been around the game for a long time, and it'll take you a long time to think of a better pro than Curtis Granderson. I had a chance to see him this morning when he was getting into the car to go to the airport, and he made his way over and said, "Hey, thanks a lot. It's been a real pleasure working with you." And I said, "Hey, maybe we'll see you in the World Series." He said, "I hope so."
That's so awesome. Blue Jays have a couple of players like that. Kendrys Morales, I'm going to throw him in that category also with some of the young players.
He's incredible. Wei-Yin Chen hits it past Martin. That's going to be a base hit. They mentioned Chen coming into this game with a 121 average as a leadoff single against Estrada.
Looked like Russell reached for that ball and thought he had it, but it just gets away from him just a little bit. First pitch swinging, he's over there and he just can't get to it. Wei-Yin Chen thought he was going to catch it because he was like, okay, I'm going to slow down, and then all of a sudden it got by him and had to hustle back.
Leadoff single here in the bottom of the 5th. 6th hit for Miami. Just off the plate outside. JT Riddle is shortstop. Opened the game up for Miami with a double. Came around to score on the sac fly by Brian Anderson, the rookie. Estrada has used that cutter a little bit more tonight than we have seen recently.
I think that's important, especially against some of those right-handed hitters that he'll be facing tonight.
Danny Jansen does a nice job of receiving that low strike. Danny does a good job behind the plate. He has really worked well with the pitcher since coming up from the minor leagues. He's had the benefit of working with these pitchers in spring training. And he's one of those guys that will always look for a pitcher to catch his side session, to catch him in the bullpen, just to get a little more familiar.
Every young pitcher who came up here this year raved about him, his game calling and his receiving skills behind the plate.
Estrada with his second walk of the ball game, and it's first and second. Nobody out here in the fifth.
And Danny works really hard too. You see him in the clubhouse a lot with the scouting reports of that team. This is all new to him, but he's always with that night starter, and they're going over what they're going to do. And then you'll see him in the video room working with some of the veteran hitters also, describing and talking about what they're going to do that night.
There is so much information available. You could literally sit at those video monitors all day long and watch swings, watch hitters, watch defenses. This is Lewis Brinson. He's 1 for 2 with a strikeout. Pete Walker is going to get somebody started down in the Blue Jays bullpen. Marco Estrada is the leadoff hitter in the 6th. His spot will be first, top of the 6th.
This is a huge at-bats because they've got Realmuto on deck. There's Danny Barnes, who came in last night's game, finished off the inning, and then was pinch hit for. You got to get Brinson here because you don't want to face Realmuto with runners on base or the bases loaded.
Brinson had been on the DL with a case of right hip inflammation. He made 14 rehab starts at Jacksonville and at New Orleans. High fly ball, shallow center field. Pilar coming in, calling for it, waits and makes the catch. 1 out. There's your out, Mr. Tabler.
Yeah, that's a start. Now you have to deal with Realmuto, and all he did is last time up took a pitch up and away from him. It was a fastball. He chokes up just a little bit and hit that one a ton to right field into the bushes. That's his 18th home run of the season. It gave them a 2-0 lead at the time. Blue Jays matched that the next inning with a run to cut it in half, but this is their big RBI guy.
68 RBIs on the season for the Marlins catcher. It's going to drop for a base hit in left field. Chen is being stopped. The pitcher wasn't sure. He didn't get a very good read on it because that was a base hit. The moment it hit the bat, it was going to drop in front of Hernandez. Realmuto is 2 for 2 with a walk.
Yeah, anybody but the pitcher running. That's an RBI hit for Realmuto, but Chen did not get a good read on it, and Freddie Gonzalez has to hold him up. Curveball, and he goes down and gets it and golfs it down the left field line. Watch Chen at the top of your screen. Not real sure. So Gonzalez has to hold him.
Realmuto had a chance to be the quarterback at Oklahoma State. He was a shortstop in high school, but as we mentioned, the Marlins signed him and said, you're going to be our catcher, and here he is, an all-star catcher now. Brian Anderson, the rookie, 10 homers and 57 RBIs, bats with the bases loaded.
Second time tonight, he's hitting with the bases loaded.
Anderson has played more games than any rookie in the major leagues. This is his 134th game. He also leads rookies in at-bats, runs. Of course, average with runners in scoring position. He came into this game batting .383.
There it is.
Runners in scoring position.
There it is. 47 RBIs. Thought he had another one. Another hit with runners in scoring position his first time up. See if they cut him loose here. 3-0.
Boy, the Marlins have had some good rookies over their franchise history. Chen led it off with an infield hit. Riddle drew a walk, and then Real Muto with a single to left. A bases loaded walk forces in a run. It's 3-1 Miami. Pete Walker going to take a trip to the mound. The pitching coach will come out. A twofold visit to the mound. One to give Estrada a little bit of a break, and also to give that bullpen a little time to get up and start to throw.
Yeah, and make sure they're nice and loose.
Nobody really throwing just yet. I think they would like to be able to get out of this inning. As we mentioned, Estrada's spot is first in the top half of the 6th inning, but that might be academic.
We had that shot of Danny Barnes throwing. I guess he's loose because it looks like he's just sitting out on that mound like he's ready. Yeah, there he is, just standing there.
And they're never, well, there's his glove under his arm, so he is ready. He's standing by, just watching the inning and see how the rest of this inning will unfold. So Anderson with 2 RBIs tonight, a sac fly and a bases loaded walk. Martin Prado pops up the first pitch. It's down the left side, and it's near the seats and into the seats, out of play. I think it hit right on the top of the railing, or maybe Hernandez felt like the fans had interfered with it, and the Blue Jays are going to have a look at this play.
We are blocked off on any ball down the lines, down the left field line or right field line, of what happened. There's DeMarlo Hale taking a look at what happened. If the fan reaches over and touches it, the umpire can call him out.
Teoscar comes over, and that fan is over the playing field. You can see how he extends over the field, and Blue Jays are going to probably challenge this. Teoscar was there. He was in position to make a catch. Yeah, they're going to look at it. I don't blame him. From the angle we saw, it appears as a fan interfered with Hernandez's opportunity to make a catch.
And that could be good for the Blue Jays, because if he catches that ball, the runner's going to tag up and score. But if it's an interference call and the runner's out, or the batter's out, the runners, they don't get to move up.
It's been an interesting ruling by the umpires in New York. Teoscar got there.
Did we see any ruling on what the third base umpire, if he called no interference? You know, did he reach back and say no fan interference? A lot of times you'll see that because the fan clearly reaches over. Now, does he touch it? That's why I wanted to know if the umpire called no fan interference at the beginning.
I think the umpire just called the fact that it was foul. You could see that once Teoscar recognized there was a fan reaching forward, he was probably more concerned about a possible deflection, not being able to catch it. Of course, that's the famous Bartman play in Chicago in the playoffs. That was Miami involved in that one.
Yeah, to their advantage. Well, here we go.
No play, foul ball. So I didn't rule that the fan had made interference, so the play will go as a foul ball. And Prado will have another chance. 3-1 Miami. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Miami has 7 hits. The Blue Jays have a single run on just 2 hits. Marco Estrada working to Martin Prado. Fly ball deep left center field. Hernandez on the run. This ball is off the wall. 1 run's in. 2 runs are in. And here comes Anderson all the way from first base. A bases loaded double for Martin Prado. After he hit a foul ball that looked like Hernandez may have caught.
Yeah, the Blue Jays don't catch a break there. They get Prado an extra chance, and he doesn't waste it. Hit that ball a long way. The gaps.
So John Gibbons on his way to the mound. He will make a pitching change. Another tough outing for Marco Estrada. 6-1 Miami. Danny Barnes entering from the bullpen. Prado is out of the ball game, and Josh Donaldson now with his 4th big league ball club. Danny Barnes into the game. Martin Prado at second. A 4-run inning here in the 5th. It's 6-1 Miami.
Danny came into this spot in last night's game.
Off the end of the bat, Austin Dean is thrown out at first. Barnes needs just 1 pitch.
4 1/3 innings last night from the starter for the Blue Jays, Aaron Sanchez. Danny Barnes was that guy, came in, got 2 outs, and then was pinch hit for. Probably same thing's going to happen tonight.
Yeah, the pitcher's spot is due up first in the top of the 6th. So now there are 2 outs with the man at second. Inside. This is Miguel Rojas, who's playing second base tonight. Rojas came into the ball game as a defensive replacement in last night's game. Played first base, finishing up that game. Off the end of the bat. Gurriel waits it short, fires in time, and Danny Barnes closes out the Marlins in the 5th, but Miami scores 4 runs and takes a 6-1 lead.
#1 Blue Jays app, where you can customize your experience to catch every moment this season. You can get Blue Jays home screen icons and features such as MLB Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live broadcast news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today. Now, the Blue Jays Monday starter is still TBA. Sam Gaviglio's hand is a little tender. He took a comebacker earlier this week in Baltimore. Marcus Stroman through a side session this afternoon. It could be Stroman who starts on the holiday Monday, Buck.
Yeah, I think it will be Marcus Stroman. That side session went very well for him, and they are looking at Stroman as a starter for that Monday game. This is Aledmus Diaz, who is pinch hitting for the pitcher Danny Barnes. Aledmus was 0 for 4 as a starter in last night's game. Taylor Guerreri just called up from AAA, loosening up for the Blue Jays. Breaking ball in the dirt. Wei-Yin Chen, just like Dan Straley, the starter in last night's game, holding the Blue Jays in check. Just 1 run on 2 hits. The only Blue Jay that has solved Chen is Devin Travis.
He's carving up that outside corner right now. He has had a great stretch right now through the month of August. He's got one of the best earned run averages. There are his 4 August starts. A .150 earned run average. They're hitting 188 against him. And he's pitched really well here at home. That's the lowest monthly ERA of his career in 1 month. That's how well he's been pitching.
Back to the top of the order. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. takes a strike. It's 1-1. Downstairs. Now back to the screen.
Lourdes is from this area. He's got a lot of family and friends here. 16 on the pass list today. Coming to watch him play tonight.
That's great.
Give him a thrill.
Another fastball right on the corner. Back-to-back strikeouts. Chen loves pitching in this ballpark. He has had his problems pitching away from Marlins Park, but Pat, his numbers are impressive in 11 home starts.
Yeah, look at the earned run average of 186, and I think that's because he's a fly ball type of pitcher. And in this ballpark, that's what you want to be. Somebody gets the ball up in the air, tough to hit it out of here. A lot of fly balls tonight. And he's also been painting.
Devin Travis, as we mentioned, the only Blue Jay who solve Wei-Yin Chen. He's got both hits, a single and a double.
Boy, there's another one right on the outside corner to a right-handed batter. That home earned run average, 4th lowest home ERA of any pitcher at 186.
Two and one. Fly ball. Sierra backing up onto the warning track. And Travis is retired for the first time tonight. The Blue Jays go down in order in the 6th. It's all Miami as we head to the bottom of the 6th. authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Well, the Blue Jays expanded their rosters, as you can, on September 1st and made 3 call-ups from the minor leagues. Sean Reed Foley was with the Blue Jays earlier. He will start tomorrow's game for the Blue Jays. Taylor Guerreri is coming into this ballgame. And left-hander Jose Fernandez has had a terrific season at AA and AAA this year. So the Blue Jays have called up 3 pitchers, and there are more to follow as soon as those minor league seasons are over.
And this is Taylor Guerreri, came over from the Tampa Bay organization, spent the whole season in AAA in 23 games, including 7 starts for the Bisons down there. He was 2-2 with a .518 earned run average. Gave up more hits than innings pitched, who doesn't walk anybody. He's got a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, fastball, breaking ball. You know, he's got a little bit of everything. The Blue Jays want to take a look at him coming out of the bullpen now in the month of September. So he will take over after Danny Barnes had 2 very good outs that he recorded to finish off that 5th inning.
That is Jose Fernandez, the left-hander, down in the bullpen, and he's anxious to get his major league debut out of the way, and that's what Taylor Guerreri is experiencing right now. Bottom of the 6th inning here in Miami. Guerreri, a former #1 pick of Tampa Bay back in 2011. Guerreri has made 84 starts in his minor league career over 7 seasons. He started back in 2012. Magneuris Sierra, the right fielder, has a bunt single and lined into a double play.
I don't know if he was trying to bunt there. I think he just wants to take a look at some of these pitches from Guerreri.
Smoke takes it on 2 hops, quick out. 2 hopper right to the first baseman, and Guerreri retires the first man he faced in his big league career.
There you go. They fall behind 2-0. I didn't think he was trying to bunt for a hit. I think he just wanted to see the action on his baseball. And once it got the 2-0, they got the out, take the ball out of play, get your first major league out.
So now the pitcher's spot. Wei-Yin Chen. Chen got the rally started in the 5th inning at leadoff single to the hole at shortstop, and came around to score the 3rd Marlins run. Fouled out of play. Guerreri's got an unorthodox pitching delivery.
Yeah, he's going to be out of the stretch, reach way back. Look at that long arm action towards home. Hey, any kind of deception that you can have, I think, to throw off batters will help. Leans way back.
Little tapper back to the mound, and Wei-Yin Chen is thrown out. 2 quick outs for Guerreri.
Beauty Tone is the official paint of the Toronto Blue Jays, only available at Home Hardware. Here's how.
Miami, and it is a rockin' city. Labor Day weekend here in the United States. Monday will be Labor Day Monday, and it'll be Holiday Monday, of course. Blue Jays will be back home for the start of that homestand.
That's a night game on Monday against Tampa.
Tampa Bay and then Cleveland, and Josh Donaldson will be at Rogers Center for a 4-game series. Thursday, Friday, Saturday afternoon, and Sunday afternoon. Little chopper off the mound. It's going to be a tough play for Travis as JT Riddle chopped it right off home plate and ends up with his 2nd hit of the ball game. Pat, we have seen it now in these 2 games. The Marlins have some athletes.
Some athletes, and they have an idea what they're trying to do at the plate. Trying not to do too much, put the ball in play. Look at the speed down the line. Good play by Devin Travis, bare hand. Even if Justin Smoke comes up with that, Riddle with this type of speed is going to beat it out. He's thinking base hits.
So Riddle aboard with his second hit. He has been on base 3 times. He has also walked. Guerreri is the 8th Blue Jay to make his major league debut this season. And you include Murphy Smith, Sean Reed Foley, Justin Schaefer, Thomas Pannone, Danny Jansen, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., and Ryan Barucki.
A lot of them pitchers getting their shot.
Guerreri is also the 33rd pitcher that the Blue Jays have used this season. That's one shy of the franchise record. They used 34 pitchers in 2012.
Well, you got Jose Fernandez. I'm sure you'll see him tonight. John Gibbons likes to do that when he gets new players who've never played in the major leagues. He likes to get them in as quickly as possible to get that over with. Well, there's nothing worse than coming up to the big leagues and sitting around for a while, just waiting to get your chance.
September call-ups, and there's been a rich history of September call-ups. Guys coming to the major leagues, getting their chance to play for the first time. There have been 54 Hall of Famers that have made their debut in September, including the likes of Stan Musial, Yogi Berra, Willie Stargell, Nolan Ryan, Mike Schmidt, Brooks Robinson, Ernie Banks, Mike Piazza. 54 Hall of Famers were September call-ups, getting their first taste of the big leagues. There goes the runner at first, foul back. Joe Morgan, Tim Raines, Greg Maddux, Pedro Martinez, some of the other Hall of Famers.
It's a great idea, I think, to expand the rosters. I mean, there's arguments on both sides, right? But to expand the rosters for those young players, just to give them a month to see what the big leagues are like, and then you go home for 4 or 5 months and you think about what that month was all about, and you get ready for your next year. It's almost like a spring training, your first shot at the big league.
Well, and then too, you know a little bit about the procedure. Where do you go in the clubhouse? What do you do on the road? What do you have to do as far as travel? Where you sit on the airplane? How do you dress? All those things are taken care of in the month of September. Chopper toward third, and that'll be foul. Dana Guerreri, at the first 2 batters he's faced here in the 6th. Lewis Brinson has an infield hit. He's 1 for 3 in the game. There goes the runner. He got a great jump. Gurriel will have to go to first, and that'll end the inning. Taylor Guerreri with a big league inning under his belt. The 8th Blue Jay to make his major league debut this season. the series finale tomorrow. It all starts at 12:30. That's the pregame show, 9:30 Pacific time. Game 3 of this 3-game set. And also, the game is available on Omni, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Tomorrow it'll be Sean Reed Foley making his 3rd start of his big league career against Jeff Brigham, another right-hander. He'll be making his major league debut tomorrow as well.
He spent the whole year down in the minor leagues, but first the Blue Jays have to solve Wei-Yin Chen. They haven't been able to do that through 6 innings tonight.
1 run on 2 hits. That's all the Blue Jays have been able to muster against Wei-Yin Chen. And Pat, you mentioned it earlier. He had a terrific month of August. Best month of his big league career.
Yeah, last time out he had 10 strikeouts in 6 innings against the Atlanta Braves. Began the season on the disabled list with a left elbow strain. Made just a couple of rehab appearances in his 2nd start back in April, his rehab start. He threw a 5-inning complete game and deemed himself ready, and here he is. It's just getting stronger as the season goes along.
This is his 3rd season with the Marlins. Missed that backdoor cutter just off the plate. He signed an $80 million 5-year contract with Miami, so they've made a big investment. The Marlins don't have much money going forward. There's a fly ball to center field. Brinson is right there, almost in his tracks to make the catch. Between Chen and Starlin Castro, they have the majority of the money committed next year, $46 million in total. It drops down to $23 million in 2020. And then Chen has a vesting option for 21 at $16 million.
So many young players, and you get them down around the first couple of years around the major league minimum, you can cut that payroll way down. They got rid of Justin Bour right at the trade deadline. He was a veteran looking like he was going to start to make some money. We already talked about the outfielders that they got rid of.
3 all-star caliber outfielders: Ozuna, Yelich, and Stanton.
And there was some talk about Realmuto maybe moving right at the trade deadline, but they couldn't.
He was doing most of that talk, I think.
Well, it was Washington, and I heard they wanted the Robles kid, their #1 prospect, and Washington said no, so the Marlins said, okay, we'll keep him.
And now Washington has had the fire sale, all but Bryce Harper. Another strikeout for Wei-Yin Chen as Grichuk strikes out for the first time tonight. That's 7 strikeouts for Chen.
Yeah, and it's that sneaky fastball that he gets by him. That's the pitch that Randall has been creaming lately, but it's an elevated fastball, and he doesn't come up with it that time. He's had 7 strikeouts, 4 of them swinging, 3 taking now. It shows you that he's been pinpoint with his control.
He's really zeroed in on the outside corner. He did that right off the bat in the 1st inning. And then once you do that, you get the hitters leaning out over the plate. You can bust them inside. You don't have to throw 98 to pitch like that. Pilar hits a fly ball down the right side. Sierra's got good speed. He gets there easily. Another quick inning for Chen. 3 up, 3 down. Blue Jays go down in order in the 7th. The Marlins with a 6-1 lead.
up, ball. Get up. Get out of here. Gone. Get up, ball. Get up. Get out of here. Gone.
Well, as giveaways go, could anything top this? It's your Buck Martinez Get Up Alarm Clock giveaway. It's presented by Boston Pizza. On Sunday, September 9th, the first 20,000 fans, not just kids, will receive that alarm clock. BlueJays.com for tickets. Buck, who needs to come for Donaldson? You can get one of those.
Absolutely. You can get one of those for sure. I might even save one of those for it.
So let me ask you, did you have to go into the studio to tape that, or did
Absolutely. It was a major production.
Get up and what do you say in that? Get up, it's time to get
out of
up.
here. God.
Okay.
You got to get up. Next year we're going to put individual names on there so moms can request the names. Not really, folks, though. Don't start writing letters. Bottom of the 7th inning. Taylor Guerrero back out for his 2nd inning of work. Guerrero last pitched on the 28th of August. It's in the 2nd game of a doubleheader. In that game, he pitched just 1 inning, faced 3 batters. The most pitches he has thrown in a game this season. He started and threw 95 pitches. That was back in June. He made 6 starts down in the minors. Travis catches the pop-up out in shallow right field. If you're just joining us, Marco Estrada started and he had a tough 1st inning. 33 pitches in the 1st inning. That really elevated his pitch count. He lasted just 4 1/3. 2nd night in a row the Blue Jays have had a short outing from their starter. Puts a lot of pressure on their bullpen.
Yeah, September got here just in time for the Blue Jays. They can expand the roster, get a couple of fresh arms down in that bullpen when the starter goes a 4 1/3 innings. You're going to need somebody to finish off the game. Marco just didn't have the command that we have seen in the past. Again tonight.
Brian Anderson's had a good night. He had a sac fly in the 1st inning, drove in the 1st run of the ball game, and then had a bases loaded walk in the 5th, and drew that walk against Marco Estrada. Fastball with a little late movement at 92.
Guerrero spent some time on the disabled list this year, a month. In June, the end of June to the end of July. That's why the innings are down.
Three and one now on the rookie Brian Anderson. Martin Prado is on deck. There's a good pitch. It's a full count. Prado just off the disabled list, started at 1st base tonight. Here's the 3-2 pitch in the air to right. Grichuk over, makes the catch in right center, 2 away. Drive of the game brought to you by the 2018 Honda Odyssey. With available Honda Vac, it always bats cleanup.
Just reinstated from the 10-day disabled list today. Martin Prado batting with the bases loaded. This is the last pitch that Marco Estrada is going to throw tonight, because Prado hits it off the base of the wall down in left center field. That will score 3 runs and really open up this game. Part of a 4-run 5th inning. Martin Prado with tonight's drive of the game. He's a good player.
He's a very good player, has been for a long time. Injuries have really kept him down this season. The RBIs give him 18 for the season.
When he was with Atlanta, you could put him anywhere. First base, third base, left field, shortstop, give you competitive at-bats, a little pop, but I think the leg injuries have robbed him a little bit of his power. He's a good player.
Now 34 years old. Began his career with Atlanta in 2006. Became an everyday player for the first time in 2009. Prado made the All-Star team in 2010. He had 599 at-bats in 2010. Hit .307. There's a good curveball. Prado is caught looking. Guerreri has a major league strikeout, and he gets the veteran Martin Prado with a good curveball. West baseball for you tomorrow. The front-running Arizona Diamondbacks take on the Dodgers going into play today. Dodgers just a game back of the first-place Diamondbacks. It's all right here on Sportsnet. Starts tomorrow at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific time. Take a look at that schedule tomorrow for Arizona. Clay Buchholz and Walker Buehler, a young, hard-throwing right-hander, goes to the mound for the Dodgers.
They grinded it out in last night's game, and if tomorrow's game is anything like that, it should be a lot of fun. So should that pennant race in the National League West.
Well, it's great to go into September with everything jammed up as much as it is in the National League, both the division races and the wild card picture. The start of play today, Philadelphia 2 back of Atlanta in the East, St. Louis 3.5 back of the Cubs in the Central. And the Dodgers a game back, and Colorado game and a half back.
And don't forget about Milwaukee. They're only 4 games back of the Cubs, and they got some reinforcements yesterday.
How much does that affect the clubhouse when you're in a pennant race like that?
You know, I saw some quotes from some of the Brewer players, and they were excited about Gio Gonzalez joining the team, Xavier Cedeno, and Curtis Granderson, and they're saying, hey, we got the front office on our side. We got to do something and get out on that field now and prove to them that they're going for it.
They did a nice job picking up Lorenzo Cain and Christian Yelich. Grant Braun's having a good season again. Eric Thames has done a good job in 2 years.
How about the first baseman, Aguilar?
Yeah, Aguilar. He didn't even start the season as a regular. Had to hit his way into the lineup and made the All-Star team this year. Adam Conley, the left-hander. Drew Rucinski, the right-hander. Double barrel action for Miami. Up the middle. Rojas was shaded in that direction. Russ Martin is retired. 1 out here in the top of the 8th. Jose Fernandez, he too has just been called up from AAA Buffalo. Left-hander with a good arm. Anxious to see him pitch. Popped up, playable in foul ground. That is Prado, the first baseman, as Danny Jansen pops out. Jansen is 0 for 3.
Boy, a lot of 3 up, 3 down nights so far, or innings so far tonight for Chen to keep that pitch count down. Remember, they got 8 really good innings last night from Dan Straley, and the bullpen blew it up. He's closing in on 100 pitches. Be interesting to see what Don Mattingly does. There he is talking to Tim Wallach, a former Expo great.
Tim Wallach has been the bench coach for Don Mattingly going back to their days with the Dodgers. Wallach is really a sharp baseball guy. And he and Don Mattingly are in their 3rd season here with Miami.
They were together in Los Angeles, weren't they? With the Dodgers?
Yes, they were. Wallach's been with Mattingly for 5 seasons now. Mattingly was with the Dodgers for 5 years. High breaking ball, and Teoscar is behind 1-2. Upstairs, he wouldn't chase.
$14 in a row he has set down since that double by Travis back in the 4th inning.
There's a base hit for Hernandez. He stayed on that pitch down and away and ripped it to right field.
And that will end that streak by Wei-Yin Chen.
14 in a row. That's just the 3rd hit for the Blue Jays here with 2 outs in the 8th.
That's a good piece of hitting right there from Teoscar. He's been eating up that outside corner all night against right-handed hitters. See how he cuts his swing down with 2 strikes, and he's rewarded with a base hit to right field.
So that keeps the inning alive, and that'll bring the pitcher's spot up. Kendrys Morales will come off the bench and bat as the pinch hitter for Taylor Guerreri. But before he can bat, Juan Nieves will come out, the pitching coach, to give Wei-Yin Chen a scouting report. Guerreri with 2 good innings in his major league debut. He pitches 2 innings, gives up a single, and has a strikeout. He's officially a big leaguer now. He's the 8th Blue Jay to make his major league debut this season.
You know, it was Kendrys Morales who got the rally started yesterday. There's Wei-Yin Chen as he's trying to pitch 8 full innings. If he can get 1 more out, no walks, 7 strikeouts. But it was Morales on an 0-2 pitch that started it all with a single.
Morales just 2 for 15 as a pinch hitter this season, but he has a homer and 3 RBIs coming off the bench. Boy, that fouled right off the catcher, Realmuto. Not sure if it hit him on the shin guard, but it really hit him square.
I thought it got him up higher, like around the shoulder area or the chest protector area.
Yeah, right off the collarbone. This is the longest outing of the season for Wei-Yin Chen. Previous long was 8 1/3. He has now, excuse me, his previous long was 7 1/3. He's now pitched 7 2/3 in this game. Off speed pitch, 1-2.
I mean, nothing fancy, but his command and control tonight has been outstanding, especially to those right-handed hitters. Every one that the Blue Jays have sent up there tonight, all right-handed hitters, and he's dealt with them down and away.
Yeah, he has been rock solid down and away from the first pitch of this game. 1-2 pitch. Found out of play. Morales stays alive. The previous longest outing for Chen came against the Washington Nationals right here back in May. And it was in a losing effort. He lost 4-1 to Washington. Allowed just 1 run on 3 hits. Another example of the bullpen blowing the game. That's off the end of the bat. Cued. Nice play by Prado. He has time and the inning is over. So the Blue Jays go down quietly in the top of the 8th. They'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Now time for a Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Carolyn Cameron and Joe Siddle in the Samsung Broadcast Studio. And it's a game changer. Get ready for a refined travel experience. Visit 787.westjet.com to see the whole story. Beautiful evening in Miami, and last night the Blue Jays were trailing late. They scored 5 runs in the top of the 9th to win it. They were down 5-1 at that point. They won at 6-5. They trail by 5 as we have another Major League debut and a franchise tying 34th pitcher to pitch for the Blue Jays this season, Jose Fernandez.
Had his contract selected today, put on the 40-man roster, started this year in Double-A. Pitched in 23 games down there and then 21 more in Buffalo. Good arm. He's averaging a strikeout an inning, a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio for Jose Fernandez. Fastball, cutter, and a little changeup. Very confident young man. He's very excited to be here, getting his big league career started.
He pitches in winter ball in the Dominican, so he has pitched some big games. He has made 4 minor league starts. That all came in his first season way back in 2012. He is a reliever, and he throws the first pitch outside for a ball. Austin Dean, the left fielder, is 0 for 3 so far tonight. There's a good fastball for a strike.
Yeah, the book on him is he's got a good fastball. He commands it, cuts the ball, sneaks up on you. We saw him a little bit this year in, I believe it was in Montreal when we went up there to play the Cardinals.
Montreal, he pitched a little bit in spring training as well. Fastball popped up on the infield. Smoke, the first baseman, calls for it. And he didn't really look comfortable, but he's able to make the catch. He said, "Where are you, Devin? Come over here and give me some help on that." But Fernandez has an out. As we mentioned, he is the 9th Blue Jay to make his Major League debut this season. Taylor Guerrero had 2 good innings of relief.
Looks calm, doesn't he? Doesn't look nervous, and I bet you that's winter ball.
Yes, it is.
Coming into play for him.
Absolutely, it's winter ball. He has played 2 seasons in winter ball for Estrellas in the Dominican Republic. A total of 25 games in a very intense atmosphere, playing in your home country. Very competitive baseball. That's great exposure.
Playing against big leaguers in tight situations, and they take their baseball serious.
2 balls and no strikes to Miguel Rojas, the second baseman. You know, it's got to help all of these young pitchers coming up to look behind the plate and see Danny Jansen there. Well, they have all pitched to Danny Jansen somewhere in the last couple of years in the minors, and he's a very calming influence behind the plate. He knows all of these pitchers very well, and you can bet they trust him. Brian Borucki talks about Danny Jansen being his best friend.
These two were hooked up in Buffalo this year.
Little chopper toward third. Martin gloves it and fires in plenty of time. 2 away.
Good play by Russell, who done okay down there at third base. Couple of strikes, so he's going to move back against Rojas, and now here's the slow roller. Third baseman, you got to be able to catch the real fast ones and then the real slow ones. And he does that with ease that time.
Magneuris Sierra takes a first pitch strike. That pitch at 96. Sierra dropped down a beautiful drag bunt his first time up. We're back in the second inning. Little grounder, 2 hops to Travis. Nice inning for Jose Fernandez, his first big league inning. He handles it with ease.
Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by Honda at the Model Clearout event. The real victory lap is the drive home.
Fans will be right back here tomorrow afternoon. Take a note of the start time. That's the pregame show. It all begins at 12:30 Eastern Time, 9:30 a.m. Pacific Time. Jose Fernandez had a very impressive inning of work in his major league debut, getting congratulations from teammates. See, the clubby's got the ball from his first big league pitch, and everybody is congratulating Jose Fernandez for his first big league inning of work. It was a good one.
Yeah, and he made it look easy too, like he's been a 10-year vet. Wei and Chen's night is over. Iron Guerrero will take over here in the 9th inning in 53 games. He's got a big arm, but at times he can get a little wild. He's 6'7", and he has touched 100 miles an hour before.
Lourdes Gurriel Jr., the leadoff man, is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Isaac Galloway takes over as part of the double switch. He'll be batting in the pitcher's spot in the 9th spot in the order. Austin Dean's out of the game. The pitcher Guerrero will be up in that 7th spot, 6th spot in the batting order. The Blue Jays had some 9th inning magic last night. See if they can pull it off again tonight.
Well, it all started with an 0-2 base hit by Kendrys Morales. This has been the Achilles heel of this Miami Marlins team all season long. Their late inning relief.
Three and 0. Borderline strike. 1 run on 3 hits for the Blue Jays. They trailed by 5. They were down by 4 in the 9th inning last night. Strike 2.
It's not a bad idea to try and take another one. A guy just comes into the ball game. You're not familiar with him. Make him throw you a strike.
Devin Travis will bat next. He's got a couple of hits tonight. He's 2 for 3. There's a base hit to right. Now for a preview of what's coming up next on Sportsnet Central. Here's Martine and Brendan. Thank you very much, Brendan. A lot of college football, and there'll be highlights from that big afternoon this Saturday afternoon right after this ball game. Here's Devin Travis. He takes the ball 99, but outside.
Just like last night, Dan Straley didn't light up the radar gun, just mixed his pitches, made pitches, got through 8 innings. They bring in the hard throwers coming out of the bullpen, and the Blue Jays lit them up. Tonight, Wei-Yin Chen, same thing. Cutter on the outside part of the plate, a little change up here, a little curveball there.
Look out.
And now they bring in a guy throwing 100 and he can't find the plate, and the Blue Jays are going to put on another rally.
Yeah, and that's the entire art of pitch. You got to throw strikes. I don't care how hard you throw. You got to command the strike zone. Locate your pitches. Wei-Yin Chen did it perfectly tonight. His longest outing of the season, 8 innings, 1 run on 3 hits. He didn't walk a batter.
Didn't walk a batter, had 7 strikeouts, and continually hit that outside corner against the Blue Jays.
2 balls, no strikes. Not close. 3-0. It's the same way the first at bat started.
Yep, 3-0, and I think the fans are starting to feel it here. Don Mattingly feels that he's got somebody warming up. It looks like Adam Conley. This is just to buy some time as Juan Nieves has gone out to try to calm down his young reliever.
Wei-Yin Chen, the starter, threw 107 pitches, and he went 8 strong innings. And Pat, he was as good as I've ever seen him tonight.
Yeah, hit his spots. 3 hits, 2 of them to Devin Travis. Devin scored the only run against him. He retired 14 in a row at one time. Before a base hit by Teoscar Hernandez in the 8th inning, and he's looking to win. He's trying to get to 500. He's been 500 or better every year of his 7-year big league career.
.30 pitch right down the middle. Took a little off.
It's down to 98.
98.
I'm sure the message from Juan Nieves was, hey, you've got a big arm. Just throw it down the middle. Make them hit their way on.
There goes the runner at strike 2 as Gurriel moves into second. It will not be a stolen base. Defense holding their defensive positions. So it's a 3-2 count to Travis. Ground ball hit hard, but right to the shortstop. Riddle to Prado, one away.
And that's why you send that runner if they're not going to hold them on, stay out of the double play.
The Blue Jays are 1-3 on this road trip. They were swept at the hands of the Orioles in Baltimore. They won last night. A dramatic 9th inning comeback. Jays have won 61 games. 36 have been come from behind wins.
That one last night got a little help from the defense, and they walked a couple of batters in that 9th inning also to keep it going. And then this guy comes off the bench, Justin Smoke. It's an 0-2 fastball for the game winner.
It's another one. Get out of here, ball. This one's going to go. 4 games in a row for Smoke with a home run, and he crushed that thing.
That's now the most consecutive games in a row for Smoke with a home run. He did it in 3 straight games in April of 2011, and then before that swing, he had homered in 3 straight games. That's 4 in a row, and that was a bomb. Fastball down and in, and he just turned on it.
Well, he hit that in the second deck in a heartbeat. For Smoke, that's his 23rd home run, and boy, is he coming on strong.
Boy, the harder they throw it, the better the Blue Jays like it. Watch how he drops the head of the bat on this inside fastball. That's a great feeling when you hit it like that.
Well, you have no other pitch to worry about. So when you're looking for a fastball, you want to look in an area where you're strong. 4-seam straight fastball. And watch this swing. Boy, that is a beautiful home run swing. He's hit the most home runs the last 2 seasons as a first baseman. 61 home runs now.
Boy, before you know it, they're going to have that tying run coming up here. I don't think Don Mattingly, especially what happened in last night's game, is going to wait too long.
Looking at the matchups. A little jam shot that Rojas backs up on, makes the play in the grass in the outfield. Now, Justin Smoke has homered in 4 straight games. And that one was maybe one of the hardest ones he's hit all season.
Yeah, because it was a line drive. We were talking about creating backspin earlier. That's how you create backspin.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting challenge as we go forward. You know, they talk about spin rate for pitchers. How about backspin rate for hitters? The spin rate coming off the ball. That's how you get your carry. There's a high fly ball deep to center field, but that's going to stay in the ballpark. Brinson is there, and that's the ball game. Phil Guerrero gives up a 2-run home run to Justin Smoke. His 4th game with a home run, but the Marlins had a couple of big innings early, and they win game 2 of this 3-game series.
And they did it on the strength of some pitching. Wei Chen was outstanding again. Their starter, they get 8 innings out of their starter, 3 hits and just 1 earned run. Enough hitting the big blow to Martin Prado. Bases clearing double in the 5th inning as they even up this series at 1 game apiece.
We'll be back for the final game of this road trip, final game of this series. Thanks for watching, folks. Stay tuned. Here's Sportsnet Central with Martine and Brendan.